Welcome back to the grind. Today we're going to discuss a very brief introduction to Atlas for those who have just got it or recently started. When you first get Atlas, it can be very confusing and a little bit overwhelming to understand some of the basics. I hope this video will help you have an easy transition into Atlas and make some good decisions and some good habits right from the start. The first part is, how do you move in Atlas? When you start, you'll have the basic fighter primarch. To move, you just click on one of the castles and make sure you click on the castle and not one of the primarchs on the castle, which is sometimes difficult apparently. And then click the top button, which is move. And then you'll move to that location. The key thing is you want to find these white areas. They're the safe zones. These dark red areas over here are no man's land. That's where people can attack and kill your primarch. And if you have troops on your primarch, you'll lose them. These other colored areas are other teams' castles. And so you don't want to go there because they might see you as a threat. They'll attack you back and they might be upset with the team that you're from. So especially at the very start of getting Atlas, you want to stay in this safe zone. If you're a part of a team that has a castle, if you go to the tab on the right and click on castles, the top right one there, they should have their team castle here in the bookmarks. And if you click on it, it'll take you straight to that castle. You can set that as your home or set your home as a place in the safe zone. It doesn't really matter. The most important part is to find a spot that you can sit that has beasts, which are these things here with the numbers below them, and also these mines, which you can attack for gold, which is going to be essential because in the first week of Atlas, you get Atlas Elite for free. So you want to take advantage of that time, especially if you're a free-to-play player like I am. The best time to start Atlas because of this bonus would be the troop training event, which usually occurs over the weekend. And why that is with Atlas Elite, you get a lot more gold from your attacks and you can build a lot more troops, and it regenerates faster and you can build more each time. So let's just briefly talk about training troops in general and in the event. So you want to be training troops as often as possible. Anytime these hats in the middle are full, you should be training more troops. So these hats regenerate over time. There's no way to speed that up except with Atlas Elite or to grind out more. The only way to get more hats when you have none is to use bullhorns, which you can get through the event in Atlas. And the best way to spend the bullhorns, which we can talk about more later, is reviving troops once you've lost troops. So you click on troops. You see I've been training some. Once it's finished, you click on it and they transfer to your barracks. If your primarch that you have selected is at your home, they'll go straight to your primarch. I recommend having your primarch on a different castle, so when you train troops, it goes to the barracks. And then I'll just show you here. You click on the open spot. It shows you how many hats you have and how many troops you can make with them. If you increase that, you'll be spending bullhorns for the hats, which I don't want to do right now. So I'll just go back in there. You click train, you spend the gold, and the troops start training. You want to do this constantly, regardless of the event. When it is the troop training event, however, I go a little bit harder in the sense that I'll spend more diamonds, the Atlas equivalent to rubies, to either or to replace the gold if I don't have any available. It's also handy. You can get these gold packs from the event line as well if you're getting glory. But otherwise, I think it is beneficial to spend the diamonds to make up the extra gold so you can continue to be building troops. If you do have bullhorns, it's best to spend them on the revive option, because you can get a lot more troops out of it as opposed to making new troops. So during the training event, I'll use speed ups to finish current training troops when I have hats full. I'll spend all my hats to make a round of new troops, and then when I'm at 0 hats after that, I'll again immediately speed up training some troops, and then do a full revive of troops using bullhorns, and if I don't have any gold, the diamonds to replace the gold. So that's troop training. You want to constantly be training troops so you can over time build up a good amount of troops to have to defend your castle, to take over a castle, or to use to farm glory. The next the next event in Atlas we'll talk about is gear crafting. So this is where you get points for crafting gear and leveling up gear. I as well will craft gear constantly. Depending on how many crafting scrolls I have, I'll either craft ones that are take more scrolls or not, depending where I'm at. But the best way to get points is by leveling up gear. You only want to level up good gear, so elite gear from Atlas or legendary gear that you've crafted, but that'll get you a good amount of points. And then as you can see, you get a lot of prizes from these events. And part of why I will spend diamonds during the events, like troop training and the level up event we'll talk about later, is you get a lot of them back. And honestly, sometimes I'll finish an event with more diamonds than when I started, because I get so many in rewards. And I spent a lot during the event, but I still end up getting more. Plus you're getting all these shards, scrolls, and 1 hour speed ups, which is also why I find it beneficial to spend the speed ups on training troops if needed. So that's it. Basically crafting gear, which you do from the main page. You go to the forge and then craft gear, and you start crafting and you score points for that. And then the level up event, that one is a bit harder when you just start, but once you get into it, you start farming glory. Your primarchs will start accumulating glory. So on my sieger, I have 311k glory still to use. It costs a lot of gold, and again, you can use diamonds to replace the gold if you need to, and you just level them up, and you get points based on how much glory you're using to level. You also can get points for leveling up your riders. So when you have a rider that gets glory, like some of the Atlas riders, you get points for, I'll show you here, going to your riders and going to train, and then you can train them at the bottom here by spending glory and the red rider shards. You'll get points for those as well. And again, I will sometimes speed up my primarch training to get more points, but I usually finish off the training event with leveling one of my primarchs, because it takes several days to finish. So by the next time the event comes around, it should be done, and I don't need to spend the speed ups to finish it. So that's a brief rundown of all the events. And if you have more questions about primarchs and stuff, we can talk about that more in another video. I just wanted to get something to help with a little bit of starting off in Atlas so it wasn't so confusing. Hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry it's so long, but I hope it helps you out in Atlas and getting started with that new aspect in the game.